Hi, everyone. Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Ibrahim Haddad. I am the Executive Director of the Aleph AI and Data Foundation at the Linux Foundation, responsible for driving AI efforts. And in this talk, I will give you an overview of the various AI-related activities we're driving at the Linux Foundation in support of the open source AI ecosystem. So we will be switching to the slides now. Perfect. So for my talk today, I will touch on a number of efforts we have. I will talk a little bit about Aleph AI and Data, which is an umbrella foundation focusing on AI and data projects. I will touch upon the PyTorch Foundation, and then I mention the CDLA licensing agreement that is specifically designed for data, talk about the Generative AI Commons, a recent initiative we have launched, the model openness framework that we've launched early in the year, and released its framework as an implementation in June of 2024, about a month ago. Talk about our various events to bring in the community together, AI Dev and PyTorch Conference, and certainly touch upon the different training and certification programs we have in place. So to start off, Aleph AI and Data is an umbrella foundation under the Aleph that supports the development and supports the innovation in open source AI ecosystem. Our proven hypothesis for the past 5 years has been that a neutral house, such as the Linux Foundation, combined with an open and transparent governance model that we have for all of our projects, enables the growth of these projects and help them grow both in number of participants and the number of adoption. And this hypothesis has been proven time and time again with over 68 projects that we host in the foundation. When we started, we were a handful of companies, 9 companies to be exact. Today, we are 77 member organizations, as you see on the screen, across 3 levels of membership. And given IBM is our host today, IBM is actually a founding member of this foundation and on the board of it as well. We host 68 projects as of today, divided across 3 levels of incubations. We have the graduated level projects. These are fairly mature, widely adopted in large-scale infrastructure projects. We have incubation-level projects. These are projects that have been proven to be great ideas with a great implementation, and they are in the process of developing and growing to become graduated. And certainly, we have what you call the sandbox-level projects. These are great idea projects that have a POC available, and the communities are working to formalize them to become ready for incubation. So in terms of stats, we have 68 projects that are hosted as of today. Combined, they offer over 200 million line of code that are available for any organization out there to come and use and deploy. There has been an immense amount of activities across these different projects. Namely, there are over 2,900 organizations contributing to these projects across over 100,000 active developers. And outside of the actual technical projects, we also host technical workgroups. These are focused on security and ML, ML ops, data ops, generative AI, and others, and they're all open for participation. With respect to projects, we are on the path of welcoming almost a project every single month. And as you can see on the screen, we have welcomed 5 projects in the beginning of this year for the first 6 months, and one of our projects has graduated from the incubation level. So there's really a lot of technical activities happening at this level. And all of these projects I mentioned, 68 of them, they actually come from leading technical organizations globally. As you can see on the screen, all of these companies host projects with us. Some of them host multiple projects. And this is a great demonstration of the trust these organizations put in the Linux Foundation and us as Aleph AI and Data in our ability and skills to support these projects and have them grow to become de facto standard in their own categories. And one of the things we do for our project, as you can see on the chart, is take these projects from the bottom left quadrants, new projects that are at the sandbox level, maybe 1 or 2 organizations active in them, and drive them with the support of the various programs that we have to reach the top right of the quadrants, where these projects have demonstrated great functional capabilities, have grown to have significant developer base and have grown in adoption as well. And the size of the circle there per project indicates the level of activities. And certainly as more activities happen, that circle grows, which is very visible on the top right of the quarters. And I mentioned earlier support programs. So we support our projects in a variety of ways. Certainly, we provide a neutral hosting environment. We are dedicated staff. We have dedicated full-time employees in support of the foundation. And we have a number of programs and solutions that we have in support of the communities, whether it's training and certification, legal services, marketing, developer services, events, marketing, program management, project coordination, etc. And all of these services and support programs are available for free to all of our hosting organization. And certainly one of the major advantages is that we offer a very focused operation when it comes to developer and community marketing. We are extremely engaged with our projects and communities on the marketing of these different technical efforts, and also in setting up various events that bring these communities face to face and allow them to interact in a personal setting. With over 68 projects and growing, the Linux Foundation LFAI in Data is able to offer organization the ability to build an end-to-end machine learning workflow using foundation hosted projects that are all hosted under a neutral organization with a very clear technical governance that allows them to become maintainers and leaders in that project based on the level of activities and contributions they make. So we are addressing various key ecosystem challenges, whether it's addressing the fragmentation in the ecosystem, fostering technical collaboration across these large various projects in the ecosystem, providing a neutral host that holds the project assets, and also supporting these projects to scale and providing them with an environment that offer them the various capabilities and support programs so that the developers involved in the project, they only need to focus on development and innovation and not have to worry about anything else in terms of enabling the project itself. So to get engaged with us in LFA and Data, I have the links in the talk, so you can join us as a member, as an organization. But also if you're a developer or you're a maintainer of a project within that ecosystem, and you would like to explore hosting your project with us, you can certainly follow the link there and reach out to us, and we're certainly more than happy to discuss that as well. Now, one of the efforts we've launched as part of LFA and Data that I will touch upon today is the Generative AI Common, which is a committee under LFA and Data fostering the efforts to democratize and advance adoption. And I'm going to read a little bit from the slide because that mission statement is very, very well crafted to encapsulate all the key principles. So fostering the democratization, advancement, and adoption of efficient, secure, reliable, and ethical generative AI. And there has been really a massive amount of activity when it comes to generative AI since the beginning of 2023. And there has been really a lack of a neutral party that hosts collaborative effort in this space. So we launched Generative AI Common to be that organization, to be that effort under which organization and individuals come together and collaborate on generative AI open source technologies. And today we have 5 major work streams. We have a work stream focused on LLM architectures. Another is very focused on model. We call it model-centric work stream. A third work stream focused on data-related activities and initiative. A fourth work stream focused on education and outreach. And the 5th work stream is focused on an openness framework, which I will touch upon in a later slide. So it's a very active community of over 200 individuals participating, coming from over 80 organizations. And the total efforts are pouring into the direction of building a responsible and open community for generative AI, for organizations to come together and collaborate on building enabling technology blocks for generative AI. I would certainly invite you to join us with that effort. You don't have to be a member of the foundation. If you follow genaicommons.org, you will land into the homepage with all the information on how you can get engaged with us. And one of the outputs of the generative AI Common was what we call the Model Openness Framework, which is a system that allows us to evaluate and classify machine learning models based on the openness and completeness of their various elements that are made available. So certainly there are a lot of challenges when it comes to OpenAI. OpenAI here is not the company, OpenAI as in open source AI. So there's really a lack of common understanding of what is open or what is considered open when it comes to AI. A lot of components out there that are not software assets are actually using open source software licensing, which doesn't really make sense in many cases. There are many restrictions available and imposed on the use via the acceptable use policies when it comes to machine learning model. And certainly there are a lot of organizations making an announcement that they've made a certain model available as open source, but there are a lot of missing or incomplete components. And to address this level of ambiguity and also kind of open washing as referred to in some cases, the open activities we have via the Open Generative AI Committee have come together to produce and create the Model Openness Framework. And the goal of the framework is to offer guidance to researchers, developers, organizations alike on the level of transparency and the number of availability when it comes to machine learning model components and their associated licenses. So when we look at a machine learning model, as you can see on the slide, there are a number of components that are part of that machine learning model. There's evaluation. There are three-level components or three categories: code components, data components, and documentation. I will not go through each one of them just for the sake of time. However, the goal is to identify all components of any given machine learning model and identify the licenses of each one of them. And based on that, we're able to classify models either as an open science model, open tooling, or open model, depending on the level of components being made available and their associated licenses. So the archives paper on the Model Openness Framework was released in February, was updated 2 months later based on incoming feedback. And in June of 2024, exactly a month ago on June 15, I believe we announced the Model Openness tool, which is available today, that you can go to isitopen.ai and browse the existing models available as part of that infrastructure. And if you wish to evaluate any given model, you can go and sign in using your GitHub ID and start evaluating the openness of any given model based on the available information as they relate to the components of the model and their licensing. And this has been really a massive effort. There has been a large number of organizations that are active with us on creating and participating in the discussion that led us to the Model Openness Framework and the tool that implements it. So thank you very much for everyone who participated in this. And I certainly encourage you and invite you to try it out and learn more about these models via the isitmodelopen.ai website. And certainly, another aspect of efforts that is being ongoing in the Linux Foundation is data licenses. So data is an extremely important aspect of AI. And as I mentioned earlier, there has been a lot of data sets or data-related components that are being made available under a software license or under an open source software license. So the goal of setting up and creating the CDLA or Community Data License Agreement is basically to enable proper sharing of data, similar to what open source does with respect to the open source licenses. So today we are at CDLA version 2.0. It's an extremely very simple permissive license designed specifically to enable data sharing. Certainly it removes uncertainty regarding a lot of the IP-related permissions when compared to other licenses. But it's important to be aware that certainly this license is not meant to address any other aspect of, say, trustworthy AI, security, or ethics. It's focused on providing the mechanism and the guidance on how can we share data frictionless without any friction between different parties. And this data has been used to release multiple data sets. And I would certainly encourage you to visit the website, which is cdla.dev, to learn more about this specific license, to read the license and explore the FAQ that we have put together. Another effort that we have going on in the foundation, the Linux Foundation, is the PyTorch Foundation. And this has been a major milestone as part of our investment as the Linux Foundation in the open source AI ecosystem. So in 2022, we have teamed up with Meta that have decided to transition the PyTorch project to a neutral organization, the Linux Foundation, and have a dedicated foundation that we call the PyTorch Foundation that is responsible for ushering the project and providing its neutral host and providing support for its community. And what's very interesting in support of our thesis earlier is how the project has grew significantly since then. So I will first mention here that the PyTorch Foundation has a number of member organizations, as you can see on the screen, that are supporting the foundation and enabling us to go and execute on the mission of providing a neutral ground in support of the project and supporting the project financially to execute on its infrastructure, its events, and other services the project requires. So since joining the LF, the Linux Foundation, the project has grew significantly by a number of measures. As you can see on the screen, we've recruited 13 founding members to the organization as a foundation. There's 12,000 commits only since last year in the project. There are over 600,000 repositories that rely on PyTorch as a dependency. And across all possible metrics, the project has grown significantly, whether the number of developers active on the project, the number of issues, the number of organizations depending on the project, the number of GitHub organizations or GitHub repos that rely on PyTorch as a dependency, and so on. So PyTorch is now part of the Linux Foundation. We are responsible for supporting it under a neutral technical governance. And this is an invitation for anybody out there who has not considered the project yet to check it out and consider adopting it, given the various technical abilities of the project, and also the fact that it is now hosted as part of a neutral organization. Now, in support of all these different efforts, we certainly have a number of events that we execute every year to bring our community together. And I will only feature two major events. One is AI Dev, which is run by the Linux Foundation and LFAI and Data. And the second one is PyTorch Conference, which is run by the PyTorch Foundation. So on AI Dev, as you can see, I have included some pictures from a month ago. We've had this event as recently as June 2024 in Paris. And every year we're planning to have multiple events, multiple instances of AI Dev. Our next instances are coming up in Hong Kong and Japan, and I will touch on this in a future slide. So in the previous event, we had 640 attendees in the event itself, representing over 400 companies that were there. We had 60 presentations throughout the conference, representing speakers from all the who's who in technology and open source organization. It was really an incredible experience. We've had an extremely positive feedback from the attendees, and we're planning to continue executing on this event. We have the next instance coming up in Hong Kong, August 21st to 23rd, as part of a larger umbrella event, KubeCon, Open Source Summit, Cloud Native, and AI Dev. So we have combined all four major events into one. And towards the end of the year in October 28, 29, we're having AI Dev catered for the Japanese technical community. Certainly, I would invite you to click on the links and follow for registration and agenda information. And with respect to the PyTorch conference, it is, I will just show you some numbers here from 2023. We're targeted the PyTorch conference. We had it in New Orleans in the US with about 470 people in attendance. We've had an extremely successful poster session with 41 posters. We actually had to expand the conference capacity twice. And for 2024, we're looking to an event targeting at least double that capacity in San Francisco in September 18 and 19. So if you are involved in PyTorch in any way, shape, or form, this is an actual conference that is 100% purely dedicated to the PyTorch community. So I would invite you to participate in that event and visit the website for additional information. And lastly here, my last topic for the day is, in addition to the LF AI and Data Foundation, PyTorch Foundation, Generative AI Commons, the Model Openness Tool, and the AI Dev and PyTorch conferences, kind of as part of building an ecosystem, we are active in creating training courses and certification that are specific to AI and machine learning. And I don't have all the details in the slide, just to keep it simple. We have available 15 courses on the topic of AI and machine learning, PyTorch, ethical AI, AI for executive, etc. So I would certainly encourage you and invite you to visit training.linuxfoundation.org and browse the course catalog. And certainly we have a ton of courses that are available for free. There's absolutely no payment required, so you can audit the course and follow the training online. And all of that is available at your fingerprints from training.linuxfoundation.org. So in closing, we realize open source and AI have very close tie as a technology, right? And there are a number of principles that organizations and individuals need to embrace if they want to succeed in open source AI. So I will go through these three principles very quickly. The first one is that as an organization, you cannot hire all the AI experts in the world. There are very few, but also no one organization can have all of them. And organizations need to figure out ways to collaborate with all the experts out there and address those same challenges your organization is working on. And one way to do this is to work under the umbrella of open source and collaborate with these AI experts in other organizations. The second principle is that open source AI R&D creates significant value. There are over 600 million lines of code today, part of the projects that we track in our landscape. So we track the top 300 plus projects across the open source AI ecosystem. Combined together, they offer over 600 million lines of code and 1 new million line of code created every single week. So all of that external R&D can be leveraged by internal R&D to claim portion of that value. And certainly the last principle here is that no organization needs to create an AI project to benefit from it. You can join an existing project you didn't create and use it, adopt it, contribute to it, and benefit from it, although it was not created by your organization. So there are these three principles that any organization want to succeed in open source and AI has to adopt to become very successful with that adoption. So that brings me to the final slide. Unfortunately, we don't have time for a question, but I have my email address on the slide, so please feel free to send me any emails if you're interested in engaging with us on LFA and data, PyTorch, the events, training, generative AI common, the model openness framework, or any other topic. Please feel free to email me, and I'm certainly happy to reply to you and engage in an offline discussion. So thank you very much, IBM, for inviting me for this event and giving us the opportunity to share our activities at the Linux Foundation and how the work we're doing is supporting the open source AI ecosystem. So exactly on time, 24 minutes and 50 8 seconds. Thank you, everyone, and talk to you soon.